All right, talk about this movie. We just got done seeing this movie. I call it's got the 4 E's effect. Any good movie that I see has the 4 E's. It's educational, it's enthusiastic, it's engaging, and it's emotional. That's a good movie.
There you go.
It's hard to get. And it's hard to make a good documentary, and something you made is really, really
thank
good.
Thank you.
Talk about that, because it's not easy.
No. I mean, we luckily found the right people to follow. You know, there's a lot of people in the Santa world, and we kind of had an idea what we kind of wanted to follow, but luckily through Facebook and interviews, we found the right 5 to follow for a year and a half, and thank God it was not a waste of time.
Now it's interesting
My
because
voice cracked there.
I've seen 7 I've seen 7 documentaries, 7 movies yesterday in general, but 7 documentaries in the last 6 days, all for award season. This could possibly be one of them. Talk about any distribution, anything going on, because this is the next step, obviously.
Yeah. Morgan Spurlock and
I know Morgan.
Okay, cool. And Virgil Films are releasing it. We're going to be in theaters for a day in landmark theaters. If you go to IamSantaClausMovie.com, you'll find out where. Like 14, 15 cities now. We're adding more. November 4th, we're on DVD, iTunes, Blu-ray, November 11th, and Netflix, November 25th.
I deal with the Netflix people really, really closely. Good for you.
Cool, thank you.
Talk about how important it was to get Mick on here and to talk about the other Santas, because I would have never known anything about this.
Yeah, you know, we ran into a couple different Santas on Facebook. We saw a lot of their default pictures. Russell Spice was someone that, you say you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can absolutely judge a book by its cover with Russell's case. With Mick, every movie I do, we add a wrestler in it. Blue Meanie, Jimmy O. Neidhart, Tommy Dreamer, we worked with a lot of wrestlers. And in order to continue that, we knew Mick was a big fan of Santa Claus. So we reached out to Dreamer, who had then talked to Mick, and he set it up, and Mick was all about it, We weren't sure how much he was involved until he bleached, and then as soon as he bleached, he became like my best friend, became like a producer, and Mick's amazing, and the movie would not be what it was without Mick Foley.
You had some interesting stories in there. I like the guy, what's his name, Frank from Long Island?
Yes.
He was my favorite Santa Claus because he was open, he was true to heart, and he had hope. Talk about how you found him.
He was actually one of the first Santas, can you hear me? He was one of the first Santas that we talked to. He was at the Chiller Film Festival, which is a horror convention in North Jersey, and he was just like dressed like a weird Santa Claus guy, and it was like, it's that awkward moment where you go, hey man, are you Santa Claus? And he gave me his card and all that stuff, and we reached out to him, and we really, really liked his story. And at that time, he was Frank, It was up until we started shooting that he did the name change, and then became a lot more interesting.
Talk about how important it is for the audience to see that. What do you hope the audience gets out of seeing this movie?
I hope they have a... Come on. I hope they have a good ride. I don't think the movie is entirely too deep where you can't have a good time. It's a movie about characters that all happen to dress like Santa Claus, and between Russell, between Jim, and all these different Santas, you have a guy who loses his identity in some way, a former professional wrestler. Russell, who's a cranky old man. Bob's a normal kind of guy. Jim's our gay Santa. We introduce a swinger Santa. There's a lot of different people who just, people can do whatever they want. There's flaws in every person. But when there's Santa Claus and that kid's on your lap, they do everything they can to be perfect. So we like that.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
You had to have the gay Santa in there. You had to have it adds to the story.
Well, not to say we wanted to do something that no one's done before, but you never really see a movie about a gay Santa, and that was important to us. There's other documentaries that did the Santa story before.
One like this.
Exactly. We wanted to make sure that ours was extremely different, and I think we did that. So
You pulled it off.
Cool.
Excellent.
Thank you. Awesome, man. Thank you.
And I've known Smallin since Super Size Me.
Okay.
When he was first here, there was only 10 press people that came out, and I championed that back then. So we've been friends ever since.
Well, Morgan's the reason we entered this. He told us to do it. So
Good.
you do what Morgan tells you to do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Pleasure
This is
meeting
Frank
you.
Williams.
Listen, Frank.
He's one of our producers.
Good job. Not easy.